Hello, everyone. I thought I'd do a quick, well, it may not be quick, but this is a really important video on limiting factors within your business. And it's related to an idea that my business partner Lee Cottrell, have been working on. If you're on the SkinViva Training Network, which is our closed group where we support people we've already trained, you'll know about this already. But otherwise, I thought I'd ask people on this group, because on this page, because I know lots of you follow me even from all parts of the world, so you're not even in the UK, but we're trying to basically develop a formula of training clinicians from what we call from zero to hero. So how do you take someone who is working in a normal healthcare job and wants to start out and build a practice and make them into really successful clinicians with their own practices, who kind of do great work and make the world a better place for people, look after their patients, and are successful because of that. So what I've felt in my own business as I've developed, and as the clinic has grown from nothing to what's actually everything, we have like 6 doctors and 40 staff or something altogether when you put it all together. So at every single stage, we've had a particular limiting factor that's held us back. And even now we are limited by things. So there's always a limiting factor. And what I thought I'd talk about would be the kind of limiting factors that you might have gone through already. Well, you're all going through limiting factors right now. There's always something limiting you, but maybe just reflecting on some of the things that I've gone through that have limited my business in the last 10 years, and maybe also how I got over them. But just to highlight to you that there's always one thing. And I'd love you to comment on what you think the thing is now that's holding you back, so that we can get a rough idea. We just want to start to get our brains churning on what we could do to support people to take them to their next step. Some of it, like loads of it, will just be just clarifying the problem in our minds. As you know, we put out loads of free content anyway, so some of it will go out in that form. But other bits might be quite difficult. It might require a whole new kind of training program to get people up to the standard that will actually create effective business owners as well as safe clinicians. So so I thought I'd start out with what I went through starting out. So the first thing for me, the first limiting factor for me, was I wasn't even sure if I wanted to get into aesthetics, because my first training course kind of really messed with my mind in terms of what I thought aesthetics had to be. So it was this whole kind of critical, kind of making people feel a bit crap, and then treating them so that they feel better, back to where you found them, in other words. And I was very unsure. I was really sure that I didn't want to do that. And that the first thing in my business I had to sort out was my philosophy. So if you're stuck trying to figure out whether you really want to be involved in this, that might be a useful thing to know. And then you can kind of delve into how you can do this on your own terms, so that you feel, in fact, my latest podcast covers this if you listen to that at all. But for me, that was the first thing to overcome. The next thing, which I know clinicians really battle with, is getting confidence, and particularly it's fear of complications. So that becomes the limiting factor in your business, because you're so terrified about a complication that you almost don't want to build your business, because you don't feel safe going forward in case something happens. So that might be another thing that you consider. If that's the thing holding you back, fear of complications, then please comment below and let me know what you think. Getting your first treatment under your belt, you might still be at the point of being limited by that. Often people treat people in their social network first, so they're not really strangers. If you've got past that hurdle, the next, and I always call this is like the most important hurdle in terms of business building, which is, how do you get your first stranger to book? If you're still at a point of struggling to get your first stranger to book, you may want to, that's kind of a limit. That's one of probably the biggest limiting factor. In fact, that probably stops more people than anything else, is you never actually put enough marketing out there to actually get someone to book, or something else stops you from doing it. So if that's your limiting factor, that'd be useful to know. I think the next, and this is by the time you've got a stranger to book, you've already got a marketing system that works. Even if it's just word of mouth, you know something about how to get a patient to book in. So that'd be useful to know if that's where you're stuck. Big step from that is getting a constant trickle of clients. And I always think starting a business is a little bit like starting a fire. Like, sometimes you think it started and then it blows itself out, and you wait 2 months. And I went through this. There were about at least kind of weeks of times when I didn't have anyone booking in. And those moments are a bit scary because you're a bit like, what am I, is this going to all peter out and be over before it started? So how do you get a constant trickle of clients is actually a slightly different skill to how you get your first stranger to book, because you need a system. You need something that's actually ticking along. So if you think that's the thing that's holding you back, that would be useful to know. Once you're at that point and you're actually developing your business and you're getting a constant stream of clients, one of the things that I noticed quite quickly is that the handling the back office work becomes a real pain. And actually you don't want to be answering text messages at midnight and trying to prepare for your next day and ordering stock. And there's a point where that becomes limiting, and you start to do that when you should be treating patients. So that's a crucial moment as well. And if that's something you think you could do with more help with, that would be nice to know as well. Getting a reliable stream of clients. So this is different to a constant trickle. This is that you can actually plan around this. If you know that in 6 months' time you're pretty sure you're going to have 40 clients book in, you're in a different realm of certainty, and that I think is also different to be able to know that you're going to get 1 or 2 for sure, but actually being able to plan kind of maybe even a year in advance would be really helpful, and that's a different type of business, I think. Perhaps you're limited on deciding what skills and services to build into your clinic. This is big, and lots of people go wrong with this, and I've gone wrong with this as well, which is you kind of become a magpie and try new things, and kind of whichever drug rep you meet somewhere, you kind of get their treatment and you implement it, and you get really excited and you promote it, and then you find out it either doesn't work that well, or it causes side effects that you're not happy with, or your patients don't want it. There's lots of things around that. So is your limiting, would you like guidance on kind of how to actually select what to add to your clinic? Like, is there a formula around that we could help you with? Some of it's kind of a market positioning or a branding thing as well, but maybe there's something we could do around helping you decide in what order and at what pace to add new services to your clinic. Actually maybe your limiting factor is actually getting premises. Now, we had this as well because we initially started working through partner venues, like lots of people do, start in a beauty salon, but rapidly then it's too busy. And also if you're traveling to different places, it becomes a limiting factor and you need your own premises. Would you benefit from some sort of guidance around how to actually go through that process of finding and getting your own space, and how to plan, I think, financially around that? That's probably one of the biggest things people get held back by, is that you're not sure exactly what stage you're at. Like, in terms of, you want it, you don't know if it's a safe time to do it. Shall I get a clinic now, or what do I need to do to make me feel certain to go ahead and get that clinic? Once you have your own clinic, then one of the things this we took too long to do in SkinViva, which is employing someone. So when you employ someone, there's a load of risk around that. How do you know who the right people are? How do you actually employ someone? What about like HR and all that? Tax, and it's quite a big step going from having no employees except for yourself to actually employing someone. Often a lot of people are held back by that. You worry about money, and you worry about whether they'll fit in with your with your business, and you have to become a boss then, which is not something that most of us have. You may never have done it before in such a tight way. I mean, we have hierarchies in the NHS, but you may not have actually been the only point of call for someone, like the director. So that may hold some people back. And do you need help with how to choose when to start employing someone, or perhaps how to do it? Is it kind of a when or a how problem that you'd like to try and solve? If you are already employing people, I know what happens next, which is you suddenly realize the difference between management and leadership. And some people never realize the difference between management and leadership, but if you've got anything about you, you'll rapidly figure out that you can't just tell people what to do and expect them to do them. You need to find out how to manage them, how to lead them, how to find people who actually want to contribute to your idea. And this actually, weirdly, links all the way back to the first problem you've got to solve, which is your philosophy. And if you haven't got your philosophy sorted, or your philosophy is a little bit self-centered, you're going to find leading a team of people really difficult. So you need to sort that out, because people need a reason to work more than money. We all do, ultimately. But money is often seen as it is often why people start out in business, but you will be limited if you don't have a better reason to do what you're doing. other than just earning money? Like, what is the contribution that you want your business to make long after the money's gone and you're dead? What would you like your footprint to have been on planet Earth? If you can answer that, you can probably lead a team if you hire people who like the idea of contributing to that particular footprint, so to speak. So there's lots. Those are my ideas around what's limiting you. I'll just say it one more time in case you're kind of catching this halfway through. At every stage of your business, there is one thing that's limiting you, and that thing, you need to find a way over that. And sometimes you can do it just by asking the right question. So just by knowing what it is, it can be really clear what the problem is. Like, if you know, like we have an issue around running out of space. So if we're going to run out of space, that will eventually become a limiting factor in our clinic, and we need to plan on what we do next. So planning, knowing that that's the thing that's going to stop you, allows you to think around that problem and try and solve it before it happens, hopefully. But just knowing it's helpful, but you may not know what to do next. So I mean, one of the things for us is we don't actually know if we want to keep growing the core business in the same way, or we want to try and grow it in a totally different way. But you do have to, this is the other interesting thing, is you actually do have to grow your business. This is something I will just add to all of this. You either grow your business or it starts to die. There isn't really an in-between. Like, you're either keeping up with the pace of development and adding new things and growing staff and getting new clients, or you're not getting clients, you're not adding new things, and you gradually dwindle into nothing. So I would just say, as a final thing for you to dwell on, you absolutely have to find a way to grow your business, or it's going to disappear. So if once you sign up to that concept, then the question is finding out what is the thing that's limiting you now. And that's where we want to help you. If you can isolate precisely what is holding you back at any particular moment, doesn't matter whether you've got 10 staff already or whether you're just starting on. If you can share with us what it is, it'll get us working, it'll get us thinking about how we can contribute. And now, just to go back also to the mission, which I'm going around in zigzags, but our philosophy, by the way, in case anyone doesn't know, my philosophy, Miranda's philosophy, if you're part of our mindset group, which if you're not, you should join because it's the bomb. Our philosophy is that we want to take like-minded practitioners, that is, people who care about their patients and want to do a good job and want to make life better for the people that they treat, and we want to find as many ways as possible to support them to building practices, so that we can. My wife doesn't like it when I say this, but so we can suffocate bad practitioners out of the industry, and that's a kind of aggressive way of saying we want the world to be a better place when we're finished. And if you're not interested in learning, and you're not interested in making patients safe and doing the right thing by people and making a difference to people, and you just want to make loads of money in as little time as possible, and you don't mind who gets hurt on the way, well, those are the people that we'd like to squeeze out. And the people who join me on these Facebook Lives and who are contributing to and actually trying to learn and they ask clever questions and they want to be safe and they're trying to figure out how to handle their patients for the best. If you're one of those people, you're the people that we want to support. So our mission that's bigger than us, that will hopefully outlive me, is that we'll make a small contribution to making maybe a big contribution. I'd like to make a huge contribution, but I'm being modest. I'd like to make a meaningful contribution to me. So meaningful to me doesn't necessarily have to be change the world, but I'd like to make a big stride to making patients get a better and safer treatment that's built around something that's really valuable and meaningful. It's like we all say, we're not about getting rid of wrinkles. It's you get rid of something that's holding someone back so that their life is better. And for some people, that's all their wrinkles. And for some people, it's one little frown line. But the point is, you're making a safe, a meaningful contribution to people's lives. So, and if you're watching this, you're probably one of the people who agree with that, because I think we attract them. So find out what is limiting you in that mission to make a difference, or to build your business. By the way, you can have a mission that's just to contribute to, as an example, to your children. You might want to prove to your kids that mum can do it, whatever it is. So find something that's going to make a meaningful difference, and see what's limiting you, and we will try and come up with ideas and products and advice that will help you over each stage. So I'd be really grateful if you're watching this, exactly what stage you're stuck at. what you're finding just frustrating in your business, what you just wish you could just overcome. Where do you see the problems? And we will do our best to try and come up with as many solutions as possible to overcome those problems, so that the best practitioners eventually change the industry. So I hope that gives you something to think about. So have a look at a couple of the comments. I had this minimized on my screen, so it actually hid the comments. I could see my face, but I couldn't see all the comments. So let's have a look. Sally says, this is pertinent for me. It's pertinent for all of us all the time. We are all stuck somewhere. Limiting factors, how to get a steady stream of clients. So that requires system. I mean, there's a whole lot on this, but this is a good question. It's that systemizing of the processes that got you one client. How do you scale up the thing that you did once, that worked once? How do you make it work daily? And some of it's just repetition, but some of it's fine tuning. Okay, what have I got? That's my philosophy. Help people feel better themselves. Great, Sarah. That's exactly what it's all about. Good, safe treatments. Hi, Marie, and hi, Dave. Okay, so let me know what you think. Write in the comments below. If you don't want to write in the comments below, you can inbox me, but tell me where you're stuck, and we'll see what we can do to come up with ways of making it better for you, so that you can keep growing your business. I hope that helps. The latest Facebook Live I've done, I should go off and start getting ready for bed, as should probably all of you, if you're not on nights or something like that. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I will see you on another Facebook Live soon, probably tomorrow, trying to do one every day. Thank you very much for watching, and remember, if you think this was useful to someone who wants to contribute, please tag them in it, or you could share it, or you could, what else can you do? Just comment and tell me if it's helped you at all, and that really means a lot to me. And it's actually the comments I always come back to read more than anything, so I really appreciate that. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Good night, and I'll see you soon.